Dear friends, uh, from today we are going to start our series of comparative income tax analysis. When I say comparative means Income Tax Act 2025. We will compare the Income Tax Act 2025 with the Income Tax Act 1961. So in this comparative analysis, today I am going to start with some very basic thing without referring any sections, without referring any rules, without referring any subclauses, subsections. So I'm starting it with very logical way so that in the coming classes we can compare each and every term of the Income Tax Act. So how these terms were analyzed in the old law of Income Tax Act and how these terms is going to be interpreted in our amended Income Tax Act 2025. And if you are okay with the thing, you may please note down it at your notebook so that in subsequent classes when we will refer this, in subsequent series when we will refer those concepts, you can have the base material. So the basic concept of Income Tax Act start with the sentence that within the inverted comma that every person whose gross total income exceeds a maximum amount which is exempted from tax is an SSE, and he is liable to pay the tax on his total income at the rate or rates which is specified in the assessment year on the basis of his residential status. It is the first part. I will divide the Income Tax Act for the comparison purpose in three parts. First part is the conceptual part. Second part is the computation part. And the last part is the assessment part. What I'm leaving the appeal part for the time being, because appeal part will take further concepts, certain concepts. So I'm leaving the appeal part for the time being. Computation includes the processing of income tax. I'm starting with the concept. In this concept, if you will go word by word, these words says every person. So person is the very important concept which is going to deal with how the person is dealt with in the new Income Tax Act and how the person was dealt with in the old Income Tax Act. And the person whose gross total income exceeds the maximum amount which is exempted from tax. Exceeds the maximum amount which is exempted from tax is an SSE. Only those person whose gross total income exceeds is an SSE. Two words are very important, person and gross total income. And the third one is the SSE. So person, gross total income exceeds, he becomes an SSE. And if he is an SSE, he is liable to pay the tax. He is liable to pay the tax on what? He is liable to pay the tax on his total income. So whether a person is an SSE or not, it depends upon his gross total income. His gross total income if exceeds, then that person is the SSE. However, every SSE will pay the tax. It is not necessary. What is necessary? That the person will pay the tax on his total income. So as far as income is concerned in the Income Tax Act, there are the two concepts. The income can be categorized within the two concepts. First concept is gross total income and another concept is total income. So in further video, we will differentiate what is the gross total income and what is the total income. What is the difference between the gross total income and the total income? Total income is a subjective discussion. These few sentences, we have the certain concept which we will discuss further. So once we will finish this concept and we will analyze this concept on comparative basis. Comparative means how it was dealt with the Income Tax Act old regime and how it is going to be dealt in the Income Tax Act new regime. Then we will go with the computation part and the return part, and then we will go with the assessment and appeal part. So tune with me and stay with me. If you like this, you can subscribe so that you can receive your concerned video, and you can get updated on the facts. We will discuss all those things in the detail. My video might be a little large, but it is large only out of the concern that I can explain the concept in a way so that it can be crystal clear at your mind and you can interpret the things in your own way. So my job is to make you the interpreter, and your job is to stay with us and to tune with us. Thank you. Bye-bye for the day.